Difference is we want all the smoke. You know what I'm saying? People tell me not to wear the MAGA hat, so I bought the biggest MAGA hat. Then I bought a bigger one.
It's true.
So next time somebody say something to me, duh, common sense, a bigger one. It's simple math, really, when you put it all together.
Oh, that's funny. Is this him with his hat? He said, I got a bigger hat and a bigger hat.
He is not playing.
Team Jesus.
Because I'm not led by the nose. I think for myself. The white man doesn't think for me. The black man doesn't think for me. I don't need Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and the rest of those clowns.
So Trump ain't a clown?
No, Trump is not a clown.
He's a straight house.
I think it's condescending to assume that because I'm a black man, I'm supposed to vote for a Democrat. Whether it's coming from the media telling me to do it, or from a politician telling me to do it, or even from another black person to tell me to do it. You can't, on one hand, say that you're against slavery, but then on the other hand, tell me how to vote, what to wear, how to speak, you know what I mean, how to live my life, because black people are supposed to do these things. They're supposed to vote this way. They're supposed to talk this way. They're supposed to walk this way. They're supposed to believe a certain thing, because that's slavery. You can't say that you're against slavery, but then put me in a box and tell me that this is how I have to perform.
Yeah. You called me a nigger. You called me. Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No, I didn't.
But you can say that. That's just constitutional right. You know anything about the Constitution?
House nigga. I didn't call you a nigger.
Oh, okay. That's a big difference.
You're Uncle Tom.
Oh, is that my Uncle Tom?
Yeah.
To call somebody an Uncle Tom is completely idiotic. Because if you've read Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin, you'll see that Uncle Tom was actually a very good person. He did a lot of good things. He sacrificed on behalf of other slaves who were on the plantation.
In many ways, there's a lot of dramatic irony at play with being called an Uncle Tom.
When you use the term Uncle Tom to demean someone, being ignorant, not knowing the history of what Uncle Tom means, you know, you're literally just signifying the fact that you yourself are ignorant.
After educating myself on the story of Uncle Tom and learning about Josiah Henson, he was a completely good person, completely opposite of what the black community thinks Uncle Tom is.
Uncle Tom was the hero. He was the hero.
He was self-sacrificing. And ultimately, he paid the ultimate sacrifice for not ratting out the other slaves that had escaped.
Uncle Tom was the hero of Harriet Beecher Stowe's novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin, and nobody knows that, so they call us Uncle Toms to hurt us, and every time I get called, I just go, oof, you should read the book.
A lot of black conservatives have kind of flipped the narrative on Uncle Tom. I mean, we embrace it. You know, we say, yeah, that's me.
I'll get into debates with people. They'll call me an Uncle Tom, and I'll say, thank you, I appreciate the compliment.
It should be a badge of honor. I wear it as a badge of honor. I like to tell people I'm a proud Uncle Tom.
This whole scenario is indicative of the problem with the black community. The man who's trying to save the black community is demonized, and the one who's damaging and destroying the black community, a lot of people don't even know him. They don't even know the demon in their own communities. But the one who's helping them, they want to throw you away.
That's insightful.
It's very insightful.
Yeah,
Again,
Uncle
it's
Tom.
a knowledge.
Yeah.
It's an understanding. I mean, when people call people Uncle Tom, they're just basically saying they're bowing to the white man.
That's their interpretation of Uncle Tom. And again, talking about history being changed, right?
So they haven't actually read it.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me.
We're actually meaning to call someone as a Sambo, which Sambo was the one who was always telling on the other slaves and telling.
So Sambo was the one that
someone is a Sambo, which Sambo was the one who was always telling on the other slaves and telling the master where the slaves were hiding. He wanted to see the slaves get caught and the master triumph.
Sambo was who they refer to as Uncle Tom, and then they just switch it to Sambo. They don't stop and think to say, oh man, all these years I've been saying, wow, I have been kind of brainwashed to a bit to see it this way, and they don't see that. They just completely move Uncle Tom aside and bring in Sambo, and now you're Sambo.
Now, after we develop a vaccine for the coronavirus, can we develop one for white guilt?
I can deal with an honest bigot than I can a patronizing liberal.
Say that again.
I can change a bigot.
I can deal with an honest bigot than I can deal with a patronizing liberal.
I'm going to now leave.
That was deep. Okay.
I can deal with an honest bigot than I can a patronizing liberal. I can change a bigot faster than I can a patronizing liberal.
I'm going to now lead us in an apology from white Americans to African Americans on behalf of our country, to you and to your ancestors and to all of your people. So to the African Americans in the room who would wish and be willing to participate in this, please stand up.
I saw a clip of Marianne Williamson where she had a bunch of white people.
And now I'd like to ask white Americans who are sitting near you.
Stand around black people in this church and repeat this solemn chant of I'm sorry basically for all the atrocities that my people committed against you.
On behalf of myself and on behalf of my country. To you and all African Americans.
I don't understand the fetishization of victimhood that white progressives want to put on to the African American community. It's like, how dare you think that you are in a level of society where I am? You need to believe in the myth of whiteness and privilege. You need to understand that you're just not going to be as good as I am in society.
For all the oppression and all of the injustices. I apologize.
That's what the white progressive burden is. And it's weird. I will never understand it.
Dietrich Bonhoeffer said it.
That is a little bit weird. What's the root of this ideology?
Best, he said that one of the most difficult human phenomena to confront is not malice, because malice you can confront with violence, it's folly. Is when someone is doing something that they believe to be in your interest. And the more you say to them, you're strangling me to death, oh, but I love you.
At their core, a white liberal is the ultimate narcissist. That's it. The ultimate narcissist. It's the people that adopt animals for the purpose of saying I adopted an animal. Like, to them, we are these pathetic, cute little playthings that they can then take to their friends and say, look at this person that I helped.
As we call it, xenophilic tokenism. They take on the struggles of others so that they deflect away from talking about actual issues.
They want so much to be a good white person and to be perceived as a good white person. And if you want to see if a white progressive is a good white person, put them in the room with a black conservative. See how that conversation goes.
The biggest challenge to try to figure out whether a white liberal is genuinely just confused or whether they're a narcissist is simply tell them, no thank you. That's the test that I say that you should do to all white liberals. Say, actually, no, I don't see myself as a victim. Watch how they react. Because if all you're out to do is help black Americans, you come across a black American that says, actually, like, I'm feeling empowered and I feel great, you should be happy. Oh man, I'm so happy to hear that. That's great. That's not how they react. They freak out. They block you. I'm blocked by Alyssa Milano.
When someone says that they're progressive, they shouldn't automatically be perceived as caring, non-racist, non-bigoted.
Most of my experiences of racialized dialogue in a negative way or in confrontations with white progressives who I guess hate me because they hate racism.
Just yesterday, I got a message from a white lady saying that I was a disgrace to my race. It was odd to me that a white woman would declare me a disgrace to my race based on her own stereotypes and preconceived notions of what minorities should think.
They sell this idea of tolerance and inclusivity, and we love everyone and everyone is welcomed here, but no, that's not true. We are only welcome there if we believe exactly what you want us to believe.
They will act as if for you to rebuff their overtures of sadness or apology is in itself the most despicable crime. It is because the modern white liberal needs you to be a victim. They have weaponized the notion of being a victim, and various minorities have latched onto that, and that has become the identity that they've taken on.
What message is this sending to these white people that are having to go out in their actual lives or their workplaces or whatever and like deal with black people? The message that it's sending to them is that you have to walk on eggshells with this person. This person's gonna be a perpetual victim, and I'm gonna be so afraid to interact with this person as if they're a human being that I'm just not gonna interact at all. And I think that that is the real result of all of the woke, splaining, anti-racist, intersectionality crap.
Finally, there was a lot of love for President Donald Trump after the...
I never thought that certain black people who say, I want to be conservative, I never thought this was a serious issue until I watched this video. It's like, to me, I'm like, I don't care.
I like what Darth Vader said. I think African Americans think different from you in the sense of you're not from, you're from
that's
Haiti.
true.
But I like what Darth Vader said, a mental plantation. I think as people, we have to move forward. We have to move forward. We can't forget the history. We can, I don't even say forget. We can't erase history. But we can not even that we can't erase history, but we can move forward from it. So it's something that you don't have to constantly have this victim mentality, because then that just keeps you from being able to move forward. It keeps you from growing. It keeps you from being able to attain goals because you constantly think somebody owes you something. And I think that can be very intentional. And it can be very debilitating to communities where they feel like they're owed an apology, whether it be the Black community, the Japanese, the Native American communities. So I see where this can be used, and even people who came from other countries, it can be used as a tool to keep people mentally, that mental plantation. Darth Vader hit the nail. It's exactly what I was thinking. Because if you do not understand, if you don't believe that you're capable of accomplishing whatever you want, that's just it. So as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you think you're a victim, if you have that mentality, if you feel like you're owed something at this stage of the game, at this year in history, then you will never reach the goals and the potentials that God has for you.
That's right.
Because God doesn't want anyone living in the past. No. He wants people to press forward, reaching forward.
Yep. You gotta move forward. You gotta go forward.
Yeah.
These young black Uncle Toms visited the White House.
Hello. We love our President Trump.
You guys. Thank you guys.
We do. USA.
USA, that was
It was
phenomenal.
great. Amazing. For illegal. It was great.
That was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I would never forget that.
It was wonderful, man. It was beautiful. Absolutely. Look at all these Uncle Toms, right? Free-thinking blacks.
It was fantastic. It was amazing.
It's such an honor to have been able to get there and even see the president in person. It was amazing.
I just met the president, man. He told me I was the flyest guy in the room. It was an honor. Thank you. You know, they didn't think I would be here, guy from the streets in the White House.
I never would think I'd be one of the first in my family to be invited to the White House as a black man. You know, not too many people can say that amongst black families. You know, so it's good that that actually happened, you know. I made history in my family.
Amazing experience, lots of regular Americans getting in there, having an opportunity to share laughs with the President of the United States. It was a great experience.
I shook his hand.
Awesome.
I lost my voice a little bit, so I'm sorry.
It was amazing.
She had a great time.
See the president, see the vice president,
Yes, sir.
see many black American conservatives.
So it was just lit. It was energy. This is this is me and her third time. So every time we go, President Trump, he's like so funny, and it's just lit. The energy is amazing every time. I feel warm.
Electrifying, like I caught chills. As soon as he came in, the way the
I think it would be nice to actually, because what we see about people is what is portrayed through mainstream media.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to actually see people live in action, in a sense, because they pick and choose, they chop, they say that and I mean for everyone. And I just think it would be nice to see, because hearing how other people have viewed him and how they've experienced him is just different from what we see in mainstream media.
We're told,
from what we're told. And this is why I honestly, it wouldn't matter who the president was. I would never trust a president.
No.
I would never trust a political party.
No.
I don't trust people in general. You know, I don't even think that my husband could go without failing me. I mean, it's just, and this is, I think what's sad is that people don't understand that we're all part of the created beings. Every last one of us, period.
That's right.
So when you start putting your hope in a party, in a person, and a leader in whatever capacity that they fill, in whatever role they are, in whatever race they are, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be upset. You're going to miss out.
Yeah.
So.
And this doesn't mean you shouldn't support
This is
anyone
again, yes,
because
knowledge.
people,
Yeah.
again, we live in a sinful world, and people are people. People are going to make decisions that are not always right. You know, we work at jobs that some of the leadership we disagree with.
Yeah.
And we still are able to do certain things. We go to churches where some of the pastors sometimes they make mistakes, you know. So we have to be honest with ourselves. We don't expect perfection in any men apart from Christ. If you're gonna make a decision for anything, whether it is political, spiritual, whatever that thing is, you need to really you have to be a free thinker.
Absolutely.
You know, you can't just watch the media and make decisions
you can't
on
just
that.
pick a
you can't
selective party.
Yeah. So you gotta be like, if I'm gonna pick a Democrat, I need to figure out values, reasons I'm doing the decision. If I'm gonna pick a Republican, I shouldn't just do it just because I say, oh, I'm one of these. You know, you gotta have really basic knowledge of what you're getting yourself into.
I appreciate what Mr. E said. I don't like the doom and gloom. I don't know which parties are shoving out doom and gloom. You're saying the Democrat leftists, but it's just all over media. It's doom and gloom.
Yeah,
everything is doom and gloom. Like, you can correct me if there's hope being spread from the Republican side, but I'm just like, what I see in the media when I turn on the television, it's doom and it's gloom. It's pitting against each other. It's all a problem. And when and just actually going back to what this is, Darth Vader, thank you. We are all flawed creatures. Going back to what this is basically teaching us is just that we have to get away from the stereotypes. You know, just because we have
to remove the labels.
We have to remove labels. We have to look deeper into what's being done. You know, what policies are being enforced. What's really happening. We're seeing, okay, what we see on TV looks bad. It looked like Trump was very racist in many ways. It looked like he hated women in many ways. It looked like he hated immigrants in many ways. It looked like he hated people from China in many ways because of what was being shown to us and things that he was saying. And I don't know how to respond to it except for let's look deeper into what was carried out while he was in office. And make decisions based on that. His character did show a lot of negative, and it was a lot of negativity in things that he would say.
I mean, I did a reaction video to Trump's, and some of the people said really good things to them. Kind of like what I heard generally was that they care about character, but character wasn't a factor as far as determining a good president. So their concern was values, love for the country, their economy and stuff like that. So it's like the two sides is like, what do you want, a good character?
Well, is the other character good? Let's keep it real. They know how to put on a face. Kind of.
Well behaved.
Because then we caught all those lies. You know, so there's no, I mean, he said things very forthright and outspoken, and this is more deceptive and secretive. So and I tell when I didn't agree with Trump on many things, but at least I love his honesty. I tell people his honesty was great. At least you know what to expect. If he tells you what he's gonna do, he did it. You know, there was no shadiness, I thought that was an amazing quality, because at least you know what to expect from the man. And I think these people are now speaking their minds, telling you they can be whatever. You can vote for whoever you want to vote for. Like, I'm all about freedom of conscience, freedom of choice. And I think for anybody to style you as being an Uncle Tom or this or that just because you vote, for me, that's not my thing. I could care less. You make your own decision. We can have the discussions about our differences. We can talk about that. We are human beings, and that's what we're doing now by having this discussion. But I don't. Sorry.
But as far as putting a label on you because of your decision, I don't agree with that at all.
I apologize. There was a funny comment. I guess someone said, who labeled me as a creature? Somewhere up there, because oh man, where did it go? Oh yeah, Canada First said, Darth Vader, did you misgender me? I'm not a creature. We are all.
It's funny. I mean,
I think I read that comment. Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, I think it's, and this is why, because when we look at both,
I had to hold it back at the stream. Sorry.
What? Just using a biblical term. So, but in all honesty, it's and I think we should look at the character, because character matters, because people, my girlfriend as a female that's a friend. I don't have a girlfriend on the side.
Hope not.
But, yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh, so she and I were talking today, and we were just talking about leadership, being in nursing, and she's working at a facility where the character of the leadership is not what it needs to be in order for the place to function, that the patients get optimal care. So she's questioning whether she should stay or not, because leadership matters, and that's the character. So then you have all of the policies and all those things that have to be carried out. So character, we have to really uphold character on both ends. And none of these characters are characters that I would sit and say, that's the character of a person who I would want my kids to emulate when they get older. None of them. I'm just being honest. So I
think Obama had a decent character.
I think there's a lot of stuff we don't know.
Yeah. But there's some stuff that
I think a lot of people know how to show face.
Yeah, apart from the good character that I saw on TV, that we saw and were able to determine good or bad, it was nice, very charismatic, mannered, well spoken. But as far as policies, values, and how to run a country,
what your character ultimately defines what will seep into
the way you
lead and way you run, and then other people will follow after that. So if you're deceptive, if you're sneaky, if you're forthright, and you're obnoxious, no matter what, you're going to start to have people following you emulating those behaviors. So at the end of the day, this is why our only good character that we can look at and say, this is our leader, is God, is Christ. Because there's only one good.
Perfect character.
So, but when looking at this, as far as when I'm looking at what they're what they're discussing as to how people have been labeled and have been just put down, as if you're African American and you voted for President Trump, for former President Trump, then it's terrible. I mean, people should be able to, and people didn't ask questions. They just saw you're black, and they said, look at him. Look at him. How treacherous is that black man standing back there? It's like, or that black woman. So there was there's no conversation. It's just insta-label. Yeah. So that's not
I like how Ben Buds once said it. I don't have to like the president personality. I need a good national leader.
You don't have to like the president personally. So he's saying I don't personally have to like you.
Yeah.
And for me, when I look at liking someone personal, I look at character. Because the reason why my best friend and I have maintained, the reason why I've maintained relationships with people is because character matches character. And to me, that's part of them, how personally I attach to them. I have a different take.
I think there was a gender perspective here too. The way a man think of as a leader and the way women see leaders are very different. Many of the people who had an issue with Trump were women. Let's be honest. But most people who supported Trump were men. So most men can say, I can bypass that.
Because men lack an emotional component that's so necessary.
It is necessary. But it can be the greatest gift also that we don't get hooked up on emotion.
There's men who have, there's called emotional intelligence. And it's very important to have that, especially if you're in a leadership role.
Yeah.
You have to be balanced. You have to know how to. So maybe more women speak out, because a lot of men have a lot of emotions that they don't talk about. So you saw women in the media who were the ones who were the voice, because quite often women will speak out.
Yeah.
We're more verbal and vocal, generally speaking. But maybe not, generally,
maybe men didn't display their emotion based on the character when it comes to
Trump. Men just didn't talk about it. Maybe they just didn't talk about it.
For me, I saw it. I was like, character is bad, but leadership is great.
But you never talked about it.
Oh, I did. I did with many people.
But I'm just saying, but you're not a face that talked about it.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying? So you thought it, you saw it.
Yeah.
So for me, you can't separate a man's character from his leadership.
You can't.
What kind of leader has a poor character? Who wants to? That don't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
You can't. What I'm saying is, you shouldn't judge a man solely on his character either. I mean, that's kind of like when you talk about leadership and presidency. You can't judge his leadership solely on character either. because you can have.
I didn't say solely. I said they go hand in hand. You can't separate them.
But that's what was happening. That's what was happening.
Separate
what was happening is they were using his character as a mean of judgment and not seeing the positivity of what he was doing.
No, it's because they go hand in hand.
True.
You can't have one without the other. It's like you have a disjointed, imbalanced position happening there. Mm-hmm. I've been a manager. When I didn't take the time to understand what I said and what I did, because people thought I was very, very mean. And I was in some cases. I'm like, I said, this is nursing 101. I would say stuff that was offensive and it was harsh and it was improper. So in doing so, I just thought, I'm a get it done person. We're not going to sit here and play with your emotions because that's not how I function. And I didn't have a good year that year. But when I learned how to properly lead, there's managers and then there's leaders. There's a big difference there. You don't want people following and leading like Trump with his character. You don't want people following and leading like Biden with his character, what we're finding out. So when you're looking at a person's character, someone should be able to emulate that if you're in a leadership position. Or you're just a manager.
You also have to be fair, because you have to also keep in mind what is magnified, right? Because the media plays a role. So,
I didn't. So just like these people, that's what I just said.
Yeah,
I said
because
a lot
of the time they just like, you don't know the man apart from what you see on the screen.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to be like, okay.
But
if you sit with me long enough, you put a camera along in me, you can put enough of my dark characters out in public and say,
you're reaching.
This is really James.
You're reaching. He made very clear-cut comments.
Oh yeah,
so what you can do is you can go back to.
I know he did. But at the same time, they didn't talk about the ones that were balanced. I listened to a rally of Trump. A rally. More than one.
But I mean, I'm just saying he had a 4-year.
I listened to them, and that's recent rallies, and even some of in the past. What I saw was this brother is very balanced. He's very balanced. He had issues. Mm-hmm. He said things that were wrong. But then when I listen to the rally, I'm like, yo, over 80% of what he's talking about makes a lot of sense. Some things I was like, a little bit extreme. He kind of go a little off. But I'm looking at him like, yo, he does make a lot you're
leading people, you just have to be balanced. And you have to be mindful.
You do. I agree.
There's certain things that just should be... I agree with that. Should be part of the components of that position. This is the president. You are the face of America.
I agree.
And I'm not talking about just former President Trump. I'm talking about current President Biden. I'm talking about vice presidents. I'm talking about every president who has ever been. There's just a certain leadership skills that you should possess.
Absolutely.
Well, but yeah, media and Congress played a lot in his character assassination, and so did he. I mean, he was a man who said what he felt in the moment and did not hold back his tongue.
He tweeted a lot. He said a whole lot. He put himself in a really bad position by saying so much. I mean, he spoke his mind. He was blunt with it, and I think that didn't play out really well for some people.
Yeah, it's not a play out really well. It just was inappropriate. Mm-hmm. Like, we can just call a spade a spade. Yeah. He said inappropriate things.
Yeah.
It's okay. Everybody does. Mm-hmm. But when you're in that position and there's people who are going to use that to pit it against you, that's true too. It's not that he's this horrible person, because I do appreciate what he did while he was in presidency. But I'm just going to keep it real. Like, that's not... Do you guys want your kids to go and act just like him when we're talking about character-wise and how his personality and things? I'm sure we would all say no. Mm-hmm. I would hope so. Keeping his promises, staying true to certain things that he said, we would say yes. So we all have imbalances, but
he had rough edges, but he kept.
The media made it look worse than what it was. I agree with that.
I'm pretty sure
because that's what that is, and that's what I mean when I say I'd like to get to be around him and to see. And like I said, he is a businessman. I didn't say that earlier, but like, he's a businessman. So I'd like to see what he's really like. He's probably funny and all those good things that people were saying about him, but he did not present well.
Yeah.
When he spoke about certain things, he did lack compassion and understanding.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, Robert.
What was it? Who?
Yeah.
Robert?
What about Mr. Clinton? That's what I'm saying. So I don't even give a hall pass to these other people because.
Well, so now we have to look at it. Like, so if we're judging character, so we're gonna come to the conclusion there is no
No character,
man
but
with
Christ.
a perfect character. We know that.
Exactly.
And if you are a president, your character will magnify 100 times more than the average person. And if there's a party who doesn't like you, they can focus on particular statements and things you say apart from other things. Doesn't necessarily mean what you said are right or wrong, but the point is they can magnify it. You know, so these are things you have to all think about, and I think we can't deny the purpose of character, but we have to go beyond that when we're dealing with presidency and leadership. We have to go beyond that. I think when it comes to a pastor,
I think it's crazy.
There is no excuse. But I think when you talk about a leadership, a president was under a camera every day.
What's your jutting sound bites? Is that something with us?
Huh?
What's jutting sound bites? Or is he mean?
I think that's something with us. We're judging things that he says in words and everything.
Oh, judging sound bites.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was something with our speakers. Okay, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. In a way, yeah.
Yeah. I thought I thought there was something wrong with our mic, like
no.
something with sound bits or something. But yeah, exactly. They're taking different. I'm not judging. I'm not even judging it. I'm just saying things that he said were inappropriate, period.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to well, but
no, we don't have to polish him either.
And this and that. Like, it's just what it is. And things that are happening right now with our current president are totally unacceptable. He might not be saying it, but he did make a couple statements. He might not be saying, but we see actions. So yeah, so I appreciate that actions speak louder than words in former President Trump's case, because his actions did show that. But because you're the face, other people are going to emulate what's being pushed out there and what you're saying. So you have to be careful not to create disjointedness, but to promote unity with your words, with your actions, with how you're living and how you're talking about other races, other cultures, other people, other genders. You have to make sure that what you're saying promotes everyone to think about it in the light of unity, not disjointedness. And so, and of course, like we all said here, we know the media. That's why I said I'd like to see him and get to know him personally, because we know the media highlights negativity and did that intentionally to try to deface him because of how he was keeping everything here. And for me, I'm sure the rich people hated it because they had all their overseas purposes and all their overseas money, and that was a big problem. So it's like, make him look like trash, make him look like dirt, do everything you can to just put a stamp of bigotry on this man. So it's not that I'm clueless, but I'm just being forthright. Like, there were some things that he just said that as a leader, I don't want my kid to be that type of president.
I agree.
And like this one now, I don't want my kid to be. So my leader is God.
Yeah.
Period. And God will show me who to pick and choose in other ways.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what we're saying.
Actions speak louder than words. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The president said we blew his ears out.
Got a chance to listen to all the things that he's done for the black community, and I'm just grateful for this president. I didn't support him the last election, but after seeing what he's done and that speech he gave in there, he's convinced me. I'm voting for him in 2020.
He made it very clear that he is here to put America first. You know, we have people suffering here, but meanwhile, we're spending so much time and energy devoted towards illegals or people coming to this country unfairly. And, you know, Democrats have made a mess of our inner cities, but he is really trying to root all that mess out and really help people in the ways that are actually effective, rather than the empty lies and promises that Democrats have been giving, but we haven't had any results.
People are waking up. People are changing. Humans are naturally conservative because we're humans. You grow up being taught to work hard for what you got. You don't grow up being told you're going to get something because you just want it.
That's Bryson.
You saying, like, you ain't got to work for it. When I went in the store and I tried to get a Snickers and they ain't had no money for it, my mama smacked my hand, put that Snickers back.
Yeah.
You feel me? We can't afford that. You know what I'm saying? But Democrats, they say, hey, we give you everything for free. That ain't reality. Because nothing is free. We pay for everything with our taxes. They work for us.
It was Donald Trump who woke me up, man. At first, when he was nominated and he was elected, I was not a big fan. But to see the things he's done for the black community, to see things he's done for America in particular, I'm a huge fan now, and he has my support 4 more years, and I'll be voting for Donald J. Trump. See you there.
And when he asked us, what the hell do we have to lose? I said, that is exactly right. Our schools are horrible. Our communities are horrible.
We got to do something about it.
We have to do something about it.
And he is.
But I know with him, we're going to make a big change here in America.
I think a lot of African Americans are waking up, and they're coming to the realization that Trump is great for.
Yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate this is exactly what I mean. So wait, the comment didn't come up. So, and this is what I mean. So it's like, that's why I don't subscribe to any particular person. If you don't know whether to vote for me or Trump, you ain't black.
Yeah, that was said by that's on record.
Was said by President Biden. And then that's
the mentality that they have. I don't know.
Right. It's like they're trying to infiltrate. Like, and this is what. So people are like, I'm Democrat, and they don't even look into policies. They don't look into anything that's been done. They don't look at anything, and that's not how you're supposed to do it. I appreciate what Trump did for America in the sense of his policies kept America thriving. That's what that was all about.
That's a fact.
Keeping everything on the home base. And so why? Because the taxes and all that for the rich people, that was an issue for them. So, and then they want to be able to, the overseas, all of that, all of the benefits, the business benefits that came with that. So, and that's just why, I mean, he might be, I don't even think Biden is smooth on, when he's speaking, but he might not be so harsh.
The rating is so bad. It's at 36 something now, and it's about his rating.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what continues to go on. Yeah, but yeah,
even the Democratic Party is very concerned about Biden's. They think his leadership is so bad that they don't even think he's going to.
Trump signed an order for $10 million from the government for HBCUs, historic black colleges and universities. Biden nixed it day one, and I just think that's so interesting. These
are things you don't hear in the media.
You don't. Even Obama did not do a lot for the black community.
No,
he did not.
No, he did not.
And so I was one of those that ran out and
building
just
a Black
pushed
History
the button.
Museum, though.
Money.
That was nice. With taxpayer dollars.
Yeah. So. Gotcha.
Yeah, we got you, my man. Yeah. Canada won.
But this is nice to see. I think, like I said, it's important to not judge a book by its cover or what's being put in front of your face.
Because it's good to hear that there are other people who have a whole different perspective than a lot of what we've heard, especially black people. To me, that's just like, wow.
For America. Trump has done so many fantastic things, not only for, what you think the white people or the rich people, but for the black people, for the Asian people, for the Latino people, for everyone. He has done something amazing, and he will keep doing things amazing. And when he is elected in 2020, he will continue to make this country better than it was before.
That's like a little politician.
Right?
Talks so well.
He was very well spoken.
Yeah.
Patty, this is so important. Media. Just remember Medea, goddess of illusion. I remember that. I've read that before, and that is so true. So they want to make it seem like, and what I also read was how they make it seem like they're for us, but they're really against us.
No, they're all for their own cause. Yeah,
it's sad because it can create a hopeless situation for people. And this is why it's so important when you get this knowledge, then to know where to take it next, because it can create a hopelessness. Because when I saw what was really happening with the Democratic Party, I'm just like, wow, they're really not for us. When it comes to like, if we're going to lump ourselves as a black people.
Yeah, I think there was a time the Democratic Party made a lot of sense, but it seems today they just got wild. I'm not saying the Republicans are perfect either, but it's just like the Democratic Party is going crazy. Anyway,
like I've said before, I pay more attention to what is not said than what is said. Yeah, and actions. That's so important too. All right, let's see.
Yeah, the World Economic Forum will soon be our leaders. Can you highlight this? Yeah,
where's that?
Canada.
Where's that?
That's it right there.
Oh, is it?
Second up. That is actually true. We have a whole video about them with JP also.
Yeah.
I can see it coming. You own nothing and be happy.
Yep, exactly.
It's easy to get excited about our president who is putting your needs first. And that's too often something that we don't hear from the mainstream media, is the way he's trying to help America be the best that it can be.
Exactly.
So it was fantastic to be there and, just basically tell him thank you for standing up for us, because we know that he takes a lot of a lot of hits from the media for us, and we're so happy to support him.
You gotta love this man, man. He brings togetherness, man, and that's what it's about. Unity as Americans, America first, man.
The media wants people to think that, you know, the black community hates Donald Trump, but that's not necessarily true. This event is proof, and I know you can say it's a small fraction of, you know, the black population, but they have family members and other people, friends who weren't able to come here that they're ecstatic that they're here.
I don't think they're gonna show this because they want to like, oh, Trump is racist. They're not gonna show this because that's not a part of their narrative.
They're gonna want to ignore it and hope it goes away. That's how they deal with like an inconvenient a fact. They'll bury it. They'll ignore it or twist it
because they don't want to pretty much deal with the truth. And the fact of the matter is, the conservative message resonates with Black America, and you know, as time continues to turn, the Democrats are going to have to reckon with that eventually.
I love what he said. The conservative message resonates with Black America. I really agree with that. I do, because we were taught very, you know, from a conservative light. Like, there's just certain belief systems and values that we have
lines up.
That it just lines up with what we were taught, and I think it might be because we were very spiritual people, and so the Bible is a conservative word. The Bible is very conservative.
Absolutely,
when you look at it. So
even when you look at churches that are liberals comparing to conservative churches, you see a huge difference.
Huge difference in their worship.
Yeah, the way their worship style, their songs, even the way the sermon is delivered.
The doctrine is getting more gray with those other with less conservative churches and conservative churches.
Yeah, oftentimes we
don't want to. We get afraid of new things, new beats, drums. Are you crazy? What do you want to do with a drum? Throw it out?
Yeah.
like drums. No. So it's just.
Yeah, we don't mind new things, new methods. You know, our world is changing. We got to change along with it. But one thing you can't change is truth.
Yeah.
Can't change that. You know, that's not meant to be changed. Yeah.
The little coverage that it seems that we do get in this movement is that we're paid, that we're tokens, that we're not actually believing in the voices that are speaking, and that we are being used and paid by politicians, and that's couldn't be so far from the truth. But that is how they like to paint us, specifically Black conservatives.
It's so funny. I just learned what a token was. Do you know what a token is? A token is like a Black person that a company hires and so that they can meet their quota. This lady just taught me that. Not this lady, my friend. She just taught me. I miss her. I got to reach out to her. But yeah, my friend, Monique, she said, oh, something about me being a token. I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you just a token. And I said, well, what's a token? She's like, oh, let me school you. And she told me that that's what they would refer to as that one Black person who meets the quota in a company that is able to be the face of the minority group in that company.
Sounds like the Black guy in Power Rangers.
He's a token. Token G.
I kind of am.
Well, I mean, I just thought that was interesting.
It is.
So they would call him, and so they would make fun of the token person at like a corporate job. Like, you just got hired to be a token. You're not. Like, it's like another kind of Uncle Thomas kind of theory in the corporate world or in the
just to appeal to
world.
that.
To be a face.
Yeah, we don't want to be labeled racist either, so we have to kind of meet all.
I'll be a token. Hire me. Any company. You need a nurse.
They like to deem us as tokens
instead of just telling the truth. It seems like they're so scared to tell the truth because they know, like, our community will wake up if they get the truth out there.
The media for a long
time. I love seeing young people talking like this. This is crazy.
They're just so young, and they even knew what a token was. I'm like,
they're making a lot of sense too.
I didn't know what a token was until this year. I'm 40.
What do you know about stuff like that, young ladies?
Yeah, they've been doing their research, getting their evidence together. I think that's awesome, though, because young people, it's sad when you see some of us grown-ups who are clueless to what's happening. Because, I mean, I'll tell you what, when I woke up and saw that Trump was president, it was like, I couldn't believe it, right? You know, it was like your heart broken because I'm like, how could they hire, and how could they elect such a president? Like I said, I'm not crazy. I don't like the man's character, but I do understand what he did when it came to the policies and the politics and the business side of America, and I appreciate that. So But now I'm just like seeing on both sides of the world. You don't run to the polls because someone's black or because someone's this or because it's a woman. You know, that'll be the next. All the women are going to run because it's a woman. So we just got to get a woman in that seat. I personally feel like the way women's hormones are balanced, no woman needs to be in charge of that red button.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want me in charge of the red button. I'd be like,
Amen.
Do it to them all. Everybody's getting it. Everyone.
Amen. I think maybe not to get into narcissist or whatever, right? But it's just, you never notice there's no priests, women priests in the Bible. You wonder in the mind of God why he never had a woman as a priest. So interesting.
Can you get that spider? Oh, I'm gonna die down here one day in the basement.
He's a little tiny little guy.
Little tiny little guys give big bites. Like I was trying to show you guys earlier, my red bites.
Yeah.
But yeah, so token affirmative action.
Who said that?
Mr. E. He was, I don't even know if he was joking. He didn't put laughing.
No, this is a serious comment.
Affirmative action. Thank you.
Yeah, look at his picture. Yeah, look at
women are like the weather. Men are like mountains. Thank you, Patty Lynch. I don't want no woman sitting up there in charge. Just push the button and just do it. I'm like, no, I already know how we are. Crazy one week, not so crazy the next week, a little more crazy the following week, and very emotional.
You're hearing this from a woman,
week.
Guys. Take it for face value.
Men are emotional too. They just lack.
We don't drive. We don't live by it though. It doesn't lead us.
It does in different ways.
It does when we're reacting, but it doesn't
not
lead
necessarily.
us.
You may not react to it, but it causes you to go deeper into your work or something. Like you hyper focus.
Oh
on
yeah.
Okay. Everybody has their reaction. Women can be more. I'm
not sure if emotion is that. I think it's just our drive and motive. Sometimes it's just.
No, because sometimes your drive and your motive should be like
linked to
indifferent something else. No, I'm saying like because when a man gets stressed, quite often it's just my theory. When a man gets stressed, they might focus into something when they should do some other focuses around the home or something, or in the family unit, or not just evade those emotional issues that they might be having, but they go deeper into just. Whether they're studier or they're worker or something like that. So just to
head first.
I love this little quick theory. Men are like waffles and women are like spaghetti. So men, they have their waffle brain, and the syrup is in one spot. I forget who did that teaching. You remember that guy? And you don't want the syrup to spill over. Yeah, you're like box thinkers, and so it's like, oh yeah, sure, I can be there. And you didn't think about all the other boxes going on or whatever else is going on in the house. Or like, sure, I'll go do this. And so that's, and then women are like spaghetti. Got this pile of spaghetti. As you're pulling out one noodle, it's connected to like 40 other things. So we're thinking about everything that attaches.
Yeah, everything relates.
Everything, and it all does relate. It's very relatable. But he can't. I say he, I'm talking about my husband now, but like men can't always see it, and they're just like, how does that connect? And it's like, what do you mean, how does that connect? It's so obvious. Did you not see that?
And that polar opposite. We like, nah, that is something completely different.
And it's just not. It all connects.
Yeah, I mean that's why men do certain jobs, like that are very different than women. That's why if you see a man, it just has a different way of thinking. So. Yeah, we're better off without having women as a president at this stage of our world. I'm gonna get a comment. I'm waiting for the comment to come.
Can't wait for God's return.
Amen.
They like to deem us as tokens
instead of just telling the truth. It seems like they're so scared to tell the truth because they know like our community will wake up if they get the truth out there.
The media.
I love that.
Our community
will wake up if we get the truth out there. And it will be no more of this stagnated, victimized mindset. It will be a coming forth. It will be a growth mindset. It will be a we can accomplish mindset.
Yeah.
That matters.
I'm checking this in my was watching this. Okay.
Time has fooled the black community into believing that Republicans are racist. But when we study our history, we find out that it was the Republicans that actually passed the first civil rights bill, and it was the Republicans that abolished slavery. And so now that we're starting to learn for ourselves and think for ourselves, you're going to see a lot of black people voting for Republicans.
That is very
insightful. Learn for ourselves and think for ourselves.
I'm all for that.
Powerful statement.
We see that on the ground every day. We see that on our social media every day. We interact with people every day that are waking up, that see this movement happening.
You have black conservatives not being scared to come out here and show who they are anymore, and you're going to have a revolution of young children out there in the future. They won't be so young anymore, and they're going to be speaking their mind, and they're going to be speaking the truth, and they're going to be proud of who they are. Conservatives, you can't shut them down. You can't shut them down on the social media, and they will always be who they are.
And we won't
I want you for president.
And actually, he's not lying though.
No, he's right.
Yeah, majority of what you hear on YouTube are conservatives. That's why we react to conservative videos a lot than Democrats, because conservative are very outspoken and actually they make a lot of sense. Let's just be honest. They just make a lot of sense.
Mr. E, I'm sorry.
What did Mr. E say now?
Afraid of a spider? That's why there wasn't a woman priest. Unbelievable. I thought you were on my team.
He is. That's why he's telling you the truth.
I'm going to be the president of our community. Well,
I think you'll do great with that, but not the country. Wow. It won't let super chat. I don't know why. Let me I might just need to refresh the page. I think last time we did this.
Put your comment in anyhow.
Yeah, just put in your comment.
Thank you though. Thank you for the thought of thoughtfulness. But yeah, I think it's very important to understand how it's okay, Canada. We love it. What'd you say? Extreme. Yes, I agree. Extreme sexism. I know you're kidding.
Yeah, I just
said.
refreshed my super chat thing. I think it might work for you now. Sometimes it just does this on its own.
But yeah, so I think it's so important for I'm not for a woman president. It's just I don't know. Maybe after menopause though, they have more stable hormones.
Let's hope so.
Stable.
Let's pray that is actually true.
I don't know anything about menopause. I know there's a lot of heat flashes involved. They say.
So they say.
You did that because pit like that, right? You think you can bully people to stop doing something, right? Call us coons, all them type of names, right? Usually people run into their little cubby holes after that. But I feel like it's a new movement now, and we want all the smoke. It's really clear. You feel me? Like Antifa, they keep bullying people because people allow themselves to get bullied. But see, the difference is we want all the smoke. You know what I'm saying? People tell me not to wear the MAGA hat, so I bought the biggest MAGA hat. Then I bought a bigger one.
It's true.
So next time somebody say something to me, duh, common sense, a bigger one. It's simple math, really, when you put it all together. So I feel like we started a new movement, and it's a revolution, and we want all the smoke. That's my message, period.
To see Uncle Tom, just go to uncletom.com. It's going to be far more widely available soon.
Yeah, that was
that was interesting.
That was very interesting.
Great,
insightful.
I think it's so important for us not to just look at the faces or what because a lot of people even said he was the businessman. He's not supposed to be the president. Blah blah blah. You know, there was look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's a senator. You know, people didn't take him serious at first and didn't think that he was capable of filling that position. I don't know how he's doing, so I'm not going to say that. But you just can't judge a person because of their for any reason.
Decision, yeah.
Any decision. Oh, that's funny. Was this him with his hat? He said, I got a bigger hat and a bigger hat.
He is not playing.
Team Jesus. Oh my goodness.
Bryson Gray, yo, oh my goodness, he's got issues. Look at that. He made sure everybody sees it. So, yeah, you're gonna have to reason with people from a different perspective rather than you can't do this because of your race or something like that. And I think to keep it simple, I love what Jesus says about Luke. We can bring this to an end. I check on my baby up there. Luke 10:27, the 10 Commandments, right? He give you a summary of it. Jesus says, you should love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind. And I love this, your neighbor as yourself. This summarizes the 10 Commandments. In other words, the first 4 is to love God. The last 6 is to love your neighbor. The reason I'm sharing this is because it doesn't say you love your neighbor because he is Republican, Democrat, black, white, green or purple. Christ doesn't discriminate, and I think there's a lesson for us to learn. Love people because of who they are. Love people because God asks us to do so. This doesn't mean we can't talk about our differences. This doesn't mean we shouldn't have the conversation. But don't place label on people just because, you know, we can't do so. I think we have to be very careful. Canada say hate people.
No. Oh. Yeah, I didn't know. She said when it came to the vaccine, said screw your freedom.
True.
Wow. That's scary. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about him, but yeah, that's kind of scary. So,
guys, it has been real.
I think it's important. Just one thing I wanted to note too is when you're learning with the commandments, he says, love them as you love yourself. So when you're looking at how you're dealing with anyone, you have to look at how you would love yourself. You know, when you put God in his rightful position after those first 4 commandments, then that teaches you how to love yourself. When God gets in his position, you learn how to love yourself. A lot of people have this worldly, excuse me. A lot of people have a worldly form of self-love that is actually very empty. It's very anti-people who don't agree with them, which is what we see over and over and time again. But when God gets in his rightful position, you see the grace and the mercy that he imputed to you, and then you're able to give that to others. So that's how that pattern functions. Because I know growing up, I learned the love God, love others, and then you kind of got lost in the mist there and you became a doormat. Like Christians were supposed to be this almost doormat or just take whatever, and then you create this, people become angry, they become bitter, and all these different things. So when you're looking at loving others as you love yourself, as you receive God and you get into a deep relationship with him, then you learn how to then receive God into your own heart, and you learn how to love yourself, which means you take care of your body, you take care of your mind, you take care of your soul, you take care of your spiritual, emotional, physical, mental health, and all those things. And then you can actually give it to others. Because if your cup isn't full, you can't fill someone else's cup. So, and not even just about filling their cup, but being able to have that, extend that same hand of grace and hand of mercy towards others. Because we see this all through politics. There's no perfect president. There's no perfect person. You can go into your home. You can see it through your children, your husband, your wives, whatever, at work. You see there's no perfect person. And to be able to extend that hand of grace and mercy comes first from you developing your relationship with God. So you learn how to see yourself. And you're so thankful to God for how he has not given you what you truly deserve and how many times he has forgiven you and you've overcome in his name. Then you can extend that to others. And so that's where it just starts with oneself, and then your home, and then your family and your community. And then it can go out to even all these politicians. That's why I'm not mad at any of them. I won't bash any politician, any person in any authority. I will tell you the truth about how I feel about them. They have good points. They have not so good points, but because I'm learning to appreciate what God has done for me, and that people can, if you open up my closet, then I got a closet of skeletons. I've got this. I've got a garage with a box of skeletons. I've got a whole garage full of skeletons. So it's just like there's no person who has this clean covering. But now there are people in positions and roles that do need to be held accountable. So I'm not taking that away either.
I was going to say,
like, if you're in that position, you have to be held accountable. But love is not always light and fluffy. Love is hard truth and hard discipline, and you're wrong. Right. You were dead wrong for that. You were wrong for that. So understanding what love is when you're extending it to others, even Jesus had to put people in their place and check people and make sure they understood the actions that they carried out affected others in a negative way. That's why, Mr. Dollar, you need to be restoring that money. It's not, everyone's not supposed to just say, oh, it's okay, I love you, I forgive you. No, okay, can I have some of my money back? Because guess what? I was on the verge of bankruptcy thinking that giving you my last dollars would help, and it just didn't happen. So we do have to hold people accountable.
Good point. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, Darth Vader, thank you. I have it noted on my notebook here. The 1619 Project. Try to rewrite history. Yeah, you said the point I was thinking. So we are not here to condemn people, but it's okay to criticize the wrong and address and rebuke and deal with the actions that are wrong. So the same way we address Creflo Dollar's mistakes, we can address a president We don't have to go into the lane of policy and politics and none of that. We can avoid all of that. We don't have to condemn Joe Biden. But if the policies of Joe Biden's are evil or wrong, we can address it.
Spade a spade.
We can say, Mr. Trump, you were a good president, but your character was off, man. You said things, you tweeted things that really puts people against it. We couldn't see the good things you were doing because of the way you carried yourself. It's okay to do
We
that.
all have to learn. I say harsh things to my kids. I say harsh things to my husband. I say harsh things to myself. Hello, I'm sometimes a little mean to God when I'm in my moment, right? And I'm feeling a certain type of way. I'm feeling so it's there's no perfection there, but we all have room for growth, and we all have to self-reflect and understand that sometimes the hard truth is what we need to be able to get to that next step.
Absolutely.
And knowledge is power. Educating ourselves. So that was a great video. And I think it's something to be said. Whenever you heard of a Black person supporting Trump, they wore an Uncle Tom. They were very put down. So I think that's great that they made this video. How old is that video? I mean, I'm sure it's really old.
Probably
I hadn't seen it
during Trump's presidency.
Yeah, because it's set in 2020.
So he's been around for a little while.
Yeah,
he's been out there.
Yeah, it's been there a while.
Guys, we want to close up with a final word of prayer. Thank you for the time we spent together today. It was real. By the way, we want to say thank you for those of you who are new to the channel. Thank you for visiting us, taking the time to spend with us. Those who send us some super chats and some love, thank you for that as well. We appreciate you. For those of you who bought some merch, check out our merch store. All right, I put a couple stuff in there. You know, when putting t-shirts out there, so check them out. You might support us that way as well. Yeah, and again, thank you for your presence. Those thumbs ups means a lot. Yeah, our subscription grew like 3,600 in 1 month. That is amazing.
Thank you. It's because of you guys.
Because of you.
We appreciate it.
So every thumbs up, every views that we get, every time you guys, you know, by the way, when you give me a thumbs up, you're not saying you like us. You're not saying you like, it has nothing to do with us. Thumbs up simply means somebody else in the YouTube world needs to see this. So when you give a thumbs up, this is how you share our video, you promote our video in the algorithm in YouTube. So even though you don't like what we're saying, I will say don't give the video a thumb down, because what that does, it represses the message and others don't get a chance to see it. So even if you say, okay, the message makes sense, I may not like these guys, but at least let me give you a thumbs up. So I want to let you know that's kind of what it means, so you understand when to use it and how to do so. So thank you so much. Let's pray.
Amen. I just want to highlight what Darth said here. I think a good pastor will help guide you in the ways of Christ.
Absolutely.
So we'll be praying for you, Canada, first. If you're okay, if you're comfortable, you can put your name in there, but we'll be praying for you to be able to get whatever help it is that you're looking for. I didn't see through.
Yeah, Canada, just hit me on Discord. Can we talk then? One of the easiest way to talk to me literally is Discord. I'll answer you right away. Dark Vader and I connect. Many of our YouTubers, subscribers connect with me directly to Discord. And email also, but Discord is best for now. So we can talk then. All right, let's have a final word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for the time we spent together today talking to your people. As we approach the throne of grace, we're asking for forgiveness because there is mercy, grace to help in times of need. Father, you said that you who heal our maladies, you restore us from all diseases. You are the King of our lives. You are the one who sent your Son to die on Calvary's cross to save us from the bondage of sin. When he came to set us free. Father, we thank you for freedom. But we also thank you for wisdom. We also thank you for knowledge. Thank you for these insights that we've learned and discussion that we've had. Thank you for the many friends who've joined us today, and the support and the love and the care and those comments that are really teaching us many different things. But much more, Father, we thank you that you are working even in our leadership, in our political world. There are people behind the scenes that are doing what is right. You have your sanctified men and women in position to do what is right. But those who are not doing what is right, we're asking for you to minister your grace to them and bring their minds to the truth as well. We pray for our viewers today. Bless each one of them. It is in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. God bless you all. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, yes, yes.
Until next time.
Yeah. Mr. E, if you want a blue star, you know what to do.
What's a blue star?
Right there. You have to join the channel.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to join the channel to get one of those stars.
That's great.
So for those of you who've joined the channel, thank you so very much. Darth Vader, God bless you. And I know Megan is not here. And also, we have 3 people. And by the way, join the channel. This month, we're going to do a draft.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so our goal is to get a couple shirts. We are hoping to get a couple shirts somewhere in the middle of the month. And then we're going to do some giveaways. And we're going to pull your name out from the draft. So we're planning to give away maybe 3 or 4 people. The first, maybe the top 4 of people who join the channel.
Sounds great.
So if you join the channel, you might end up being number 4 because we only have 3 people right now. So, hey, you're going to get one of our shirts. So we appreciate you.
Before me.
Yeah. Well, the shirts have to come to us first.
I know.
So if anything, we can just purchase them and send it to their house. But
yeah,
well, they have to come to us and then we'll send it to them. All right. God bless you all. Until next time, have a good one. Remember to look unto Jesus and to live by faith. Wait a minute, Darth Vader. What did you just say? So you said gift 5 look membership. Okay.
Gifted 5 look and live.
Was gifted a membership at Hard Look. Okay.
Gifted 5 look and live memberships. He gifted them.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's helping them to
cool.
join. That is actually cool. Appreciate you.
Could do that.
I didn't know you could do that either. I just found out, Darth Vader. Appreciate you for doing that.
James Maxwell.
James Maxwell. We had a Bible
Just
study
saw
this
you.
morning. Yeah, he was on with me.
That's cool. Megatron. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, if anybody wants, click the gift box. I'll keep the live stream running so you could do that.
No, he gifted it.
But I think he said you have to accept
Oh, I
it
don't know
in
how
a
it
way.
goes. Oh, okay.
I don't know how that is, but I'm ashamed.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, so he puts the gift, you have to accept it. Okay.
Mr. E said, woohoo!
Mr. E. Appreciate you.
Man, I can't wait to meet you all.
Thank you, Darth
Can't
Vader.
wait for our get together.
Yes, sir.
Darth
Vader, by the way, we're still praying for your daughter. We don't have to say anything else. She's on our list. I want to make sure you add her to that, the women prayer list, the thing you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And also add Deborah. That's another daughter too.
Deidre.
Yeah, Deidre. All right. Thank you so very much for the love and care. Thank you also for the time we spent together. God bless you guys. Until next time, Roque, accepted as well. Until next time, remember to look unto Jesus and to live by faith. I'll keep the stream running for 2 minutes for those of you who are accepting the gift from Darth Vader. So.
Asking you shall receive.
Yeah, you guys ask and you receive. Thank you. That's amazing. All right. God bless you all. Have a good one.
God bless you all.
Bye-bye.